Hey everyone, Don with Breja ToneWorks, and thanks for watching. Today's video is about wiring up a Stratocaster style guitar so that we have a dual volume and master tone control. So we're going to take the top, or the very first volume control, and we're going to make that the volume for the bridge in the middle. The next pot is going to be a neck volume, and then finally we will have our master tone. Our components are pretty simple. We've got our standard 3 single coil pickups, our 5-way selector switch. We're going to have 2 volume controls, so we need to take one of the tone controls that are in the guitar and turn that into a volume control. And we do that by grounding one of the lugs, and I'll talk about that in a second. And then we obviously have our tone control pot. As always, I try to identify each of the soldering points. So on our 5-way switch, on the left side we will be calling them A1, 2, 3, and 4. On the right side, B, 1, 2, 3, 4. The lugs on our pots are L1, 2, 3. 2 is always in the middle. Keep this order in mind when you are inverting the pot. I am not changing the order. As always, we start with grounding. I always use the top of one of the volume pots, or in this case the main volume pot for the bridge in the middle, as my central grounding point. We're going to ground each of the top of the pots to that central point. Also, note that L3, lug L3 on the 2 volume pots has to be grounded, so please make sure you do that. To wire up the capacitor, we're going to take one lead of the capacitor and go to L2 of our tone pot. The other lead is going to be grounded to the top of that pot. To wire up the neck pickup, we're going to take the ground wire and go to our central grounding point, which in my case is the top of the very first volume pot. And the hot of that pickup is going to go to L1 of the center volume pot. For the middle pickup, we once again ground the main grounding wire to the top of that central grounding point, and the hot is going to go to A2 of our 5-way switch. The bridge pickup will ground again the grounding wire to the top of the volume pot, and the hot is going to go to A1 of our 5-way switch. Now to wire up the switch itself, we're going to take a wire from A4 and go to L1 of the top volume pot, and I show that here in kind of the crimson, purple, or red. Then we're going to go from B1 and we're going to go to L3 of our tone pot, shown here in white. We will have a jumper between B2 and B3, and we're going to take a lead from B2 to L2 of the top volume pot, and that's kind of shown here in the brown. And lastly, from B4, we're going to go to L2 of the center volume pot. And now lastly, we're going to take our output jack and we're going to take the ground from the top of the grounding point, and the hot is going to come from L3 of our tone control. And that's it, we're done. So what we've got now is our top volume pot is actually going to control the middle and the bridge. Our second pot is a volume control that's independent, and it only acts on the neck pickup. And then the last pot is a master tone for the guitar. So again, it's a really simple mod to do. We're not really changing any parts out other than making that center tone control into a volume pot by grounding lug L3. Other than that, all of the other components can stay the same. A little bit of different wiring, and we're all ready to go. I really appreciate you guys watching. If you have any questions or comments, please email me at brejatoneworks@gmail.com. And remember, tone, it's not just a knob, it's sound advice. Thanks.